minus 1 is 1. Andy Brain, thank you for the ice cream cone. Thank you. Oh, thank you again, Mr. Morgan, Mrs. Gladys. Thank you for the rose. Thank you. Okay, so letter writing. So I've seen that a lot of people do not really understand letter writing. When you go to the bank and they'll ask you to write a letter, maybe for one thing or another, you'll be there, you see people that are not able to write these letters, even in schools and everywhere. A lot of people cannot write letters. Okay, now that's why we have this topic, letter writing. Finally, my subject, welcome. Okay, Alima, we are here. Like English, letter writing. So now, letters, we have two types of letters. We have the informal letter, and then we have the formal letter. Larix, is that why we're getting a rose? Thank you for the roses. Thank you, Larix. So we have informal letter and we have formal letter. Okay? We have informal letter and we have formal letter. Informal and formal. Informal and formal. Of course, you know, in here is a prefix which means not formal and formal. So, let me start with this one. What is an informal letter? What is an informal letter? So an informal letter is a letter you write to people that are close to you, loved ones, friends, relations, family, all that. That's what we call informal letter, right? The letter you write to offices for official purpose, what we call formal letter. So formal letter is also called official letter. So formal letter can also be called official letter. So there's a format for this letter, and there's also a format for this letter, friendly letter. Here's our queen. Yes, that's it. For official. Yes, Jude banking. So this is informal letter, the friendly letter, the casual for casual. In fact, and then this one for official purpose. You're writing to an office. This one you're writing to an office, okay? So someone you really do not know. You're writing for office purpose, for official purpose, for formal purpose. Whereas this one you're writing to family, to friends, to people that you are close to, people that are very close to you. Come again, please, with yellow. Okay, I said an informal letter is a letter written to family, friends, and close ones. While a formal letter is a letter written to offices for official purpose. It is also called an official letter. Hello, Pretty Debbie, welcome. Yes, to business offices, yeah. Formal is written for businesses, yes. So now we want to see how we write these two types of. I'm not going to look at this one basically. I'll focus on this one today. Formal letter. How we write formal letters. How we write formal letters. Okay. There's an how-to for this one, and there's also an how-to for this one, the formal letter. So, what are the things you see in the formal letters? What are the things you see? It's also for a person in high post. Anybody, the person is taking a position, all right, somewhere in an office or something. All right. What about semi-formal? That is not really. We don't really talk about semi-formal these days. We talk about formal and informal. Okay, Lawrence. So, what are the things you see in a formal letter? Talk about the format of a formal letter or the contents of a formal letter. Let's talk about that. So, the contents of a formal letter. So, the contents of a formal letter, what are the things you have in a formal letter? What are the things that are necessary, that are supposed to be in a formal letter? When you see, you know this is a formal letter. Alright, so the first one you have in a formal letter is what? Is the writer's address. You writing your own address. That's the first thing. The writer's address. The writer's address. After the writer's address, the next thing is the date. That's the day you're writing the letter. The day you're writing the letter. Not any other. The day you're writing the letter. The date. So writer's address, the next thing is the date. The next thing is what? Is the address of the receiver. The person you are writing to. the recipient's address. That's the next thing. So, recipient's address. And number 4, after the recipient's address, the next thing is what? The next thing is a salutation. That's dear Mr., dear Mrs., dear Miss, dear Sir, dear. That's a salutation. And number 5, after the salutation, in a formal letter, we're talking about formal letter now. So after the salutation, yes, salutation. After the salutation, what comes next? What comes next is the title of your letter. Or we say the subject, the title. The title. The title of your letter. Yes, the heading, the subject, the title. Then number 6, after the title, now you have the body of the letter. The details, the main letter body, okay? The body of the letter. So after the body of the letter, what comes next? Good evening, Queen Benny, welcome. There we go, thank you. So after the body of the letter, what is the next thing you're supposed to have? You're supposed to have now the complementary clause. Yours, blah, blah, blah. Yours this, yours that. So you have the complementary clause. Now after the complementary clause, good evening, Geomax, welcome. Welcome. So after the complementary clause, what is the next thing? It is the signature. The signature. The signature comes after the complementary clause. Here are the signature. Yeah. The conclusion, official critical care. Conclusion is part of the body. So if the body, you now have paragraphs. Maybe the opening paragraph, the middle paragraph, concluding paragraph. Conclusion, that's usually it's part of the body. So you have complementary clause, you have the signature, and the last one, your name, your full name, your name. Number 9. Okay, number 9, let me write it here. Your name, your full name. If it's an informal letter, you can say yours dear friend, Mike. Yours dear daughter, Uchechi. Yours loving whatever. You can just put your first name alone. But when it comes to formal letter, you want to have your full name. Musa Abdul Rashid Garuba. You want to have your full name. Or Adeyemi Shina, or whatever. So you must have your full name. The full name, your full name. Signature, full name in bracket. Yes, your full name. So the first one is what? The writer's address. Now every one of these, they have their own position where they should be in the letter, in the formal letter. So the first one is the writer's address. The writer's address, assuming this is your paper now, the writer's address is usually at the top right corner of your paper. The top right corner, you have the writer's address. So let me wipe this off. Let's use the board now as a paper. So we're going to have the writer's address here. You have your writer's address here. So this is where you have the writer's address. Here. Then the date. Just underneath the address, you have the date. Just under the address, you have the date. The next thing is what? The recipient's address. That's the person you're writing to. Where would that be? That would come to the left side now. We'll come to the left side. The recipient's address, the receiver's address. So this is where we have the recipient's address. After you have your own address, which is the writer, the date of writing, you come to this side. Just after this, the next line to this side, you come and you write the receiver's address, which is the recipient's address. All right. Then under the recipient's address, now you have the salutation. You have the salutation here. You have the salutation. Now after the salutation, what is the next thing? The title. The title is centralized, usually centralized. at like the middle here, the title. So this is where you have the title, like middle here. When you have it all caps, there is no need to underline. All capital letters, don't underline, okay? So that's the title. Then what's the next thing? The body. So you have the body of the letter. That is the message you want to write. The details of the letter. That's what we call the body of the letter. All of that. Alright? The body of the letter. The body of the letter. At the end of the day, when you're done writing, what do you have? You now have the complementary clause, the signature, and your full name. So we have the complementary clause. With the signature on them and the full name following. So after the body, you have the complementary clause. Let's keep tapping. Let's keep the tapping on the screen. Let's increase the lights on this slide. And yes, let's do that, please. Okay. So after the body of the letter, you now have your complementary clause, your signature, and your full name underneath. All right. So we're going to have an example now. Let's say we need to write a cover letter for an application. Let's say a cover letter for an application. You are applying for a job somewhere. Let's say you saw an advert. Okay, let's say you saw an advert in a newspaper, a job advert in a newspaper, and you want to apply. So in your maybe envelope, you have your CV, you have your other documents, your credentials, your certificates, and all of that. Now you also need to write your application. So that's an example of a formal letter, an application letter. Other examples of formal letter, you have query letter. You have letter of receipt, that's acknowledgement of receiving something. Letter to your boss, all right? Letter to maybe to give the price of something as a business owner to a client. All these are examples of official letters. Okay, so let's work on now an application letter. So you saw an advert in the newspaper, an advert that is putting up vacancy for the post of a manager, in company ABC, for the post of a manager in company ABC. A proposal, yes, thank you, Larry, that's the word, proposal letter. So to apply as the manager in this company ABC. So that's what we want to do now, right? Let's start. So the first thing we're going to start, in every writing, when it comes to writing, the first thing you want to do, you want to plan your writing. You must have done that, okay? Now, planning your writing means you're going to have an outline, the points you're going to write about. When it comes to letter writing, you want to have your address. Make sure you have the address of the person you're writing to, or the office you're writing to. So if you don't have it, maybe you want to go to their website, get their address, or maybe where you saw the advert or something, you want to check for that, because address is very important. And another thing, when you're writing the recipient's address, it is also important that you write the job title of the exact person you want to see the letter. If you just write ABC company and you put their address, once the letter gets there, if it gets to the table of the secretary is going to open it because it's not addressed to anybody, and then she will direct the letter to whoever it may concern. But if it is directed to a particular person, okay, maybe to the managing director, so it has to be taken to the managing director, all right? So if except the managing director gives to the PA or to the secretary open, all right? But it has to get there first. So that is why you need to include also the job title when you are including the address of the person you are writing to, the manager, all right? So and so company, then the address, all right? Let's take one. So let's work on one. So I want to write a letter now. I want to write a letter where let's start gifting. Yes, so let's start gifting the teacher. So my address let's say I'm going to use let's say my address is 26 James 26 James Okoro Street. Let's say my address is 26 James Okoro Street. Please, I failed to say this. When you're writing a formal letter, there are things you should not do. One of them is you don't want to abbreviate. There is no abbreviation in a formal letter. You can abbreviate in informal letter. 2, there is no use of slangs in a formal letter. The tone of the formal letter is official. There is no casual tone, all right? You don't come into a formal letter and you are doing how are you. No, nobody knows you. You are writing to someone you don't know and they don't even know you, all right? So you should go, that's the third one. About the formal letter should be concise and clear. Concise means short and brief and well detailed. The details should be there and straight to the point. No beating around the bush. You just go straight. It's not like the informal letter where you say, hey, how is Amaka, how is Omolara and Zainab? Are they fine? How is their school? Before you now go to paragraph 2 or maybe paragraph 3. So the reason I am just writing informal letter, you are going straight to the point, okay? So 26 James Okoro Street. Please always have your comma. Very important. Don't miss that one. Have the comma at the end of every line. That when you've gotten to the end of your address, you put your full stop. So James Okoro Street, say Ikeja. Where in Ikeja? Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. And another thing, if the person you are writing to is outside your country, you want to include your own country. You might not include your own country if the person you are writing to is in the same country. You can just stop at Lagos, okay? Ikeja, Lagos. Now, for the person I'm writing to, let's assume it's not even in Nigeria. I want to include Nigeria. So, are you writing a formal letter, informal? Alima, where have you been? I'm writing a formal letter. So Nigeria. Now this is my address. If you have a PO box, you want to include it. PO box, blah blah blah. Okay. Then the next thing, formal. Thank you. So the next thing you're going to have is your date. All right. What is today's date? Today's date is it 14th now? Today's 14th. So I'm going to have my 14th June. 14th June 2023, or I can just say 14/06/2023. All right, I can use any of these formats to write my date. So I can't see your writing. Okay. 26 James Okoro Street. I hope you can see now. Ikeja, Lagos. If you have your maybe the local government, maybe you want to have the local government Ikeja, what local government before you come to the state Lagos, before you come to the country. All right, depends on the details you have. Yes, okay. Your writing is very clear. Okay, thank you. So Lagos, then Nigeria. Full stop. Now this is my date. So what's the next thing that should come? Correction. Eric Dorcas, what's the correction, please? Dorcas, the correction. Okay, while you're writing, it should be on a straight line. Yes. Is this not straight? Where's Dorcas? Dorcas, is this not straight? Alright, so the next thing you want to do after the date is what? The writer's address, the person you're writing to. So the receiver's address. Now, who is receiving this letter? So I'm writing to the manager. Okay, since it's a job, it's an application letter, am I writing to the HR now? Human resource HR, okay? The human resource officer, probably. Or is it the manager? So the human resource officer. What company again? I said ABC. ABC group of companies. Where is the company? Where is the company? Thank you for the perfume. Thank you very much. Thank you, John. So HR of okay, let's use Larex Cakes and Events. Okay, let's use Larex Cakes and Events. Larex Cakes together, okay? Larex Cakes and Events. Larex, where's the address? Or should we fake it? Should we get a fake address? A full stop after the year in the address. A full stop after the year. Okay, thank you. Okay. So Larex, what's the address? What's the address? Later you come and pay us for advert. Larex, what's the address? Barbarian Street. Larex, you're waiting. What is the address? Is she still typing? Just fake. She's typing. Okay, waiting. Please use anyone. Where's the search? Use anyone. Okay, let's use anyone then. So Larex Cakes an event. Let me use 16 Demury Street. 16 Demury Street. Alakpere Ketu. Alakpere Ketu, Lagos State, Nigeria. Now, this is the address of the person, the company I'm writing to, okay? Now, this is my own address. 26 James Okoro Street, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. 14th June 2023. Don't forget your punctuation marks. Your comma, your full stop, your comma, your comma. Okay, no. This is just the name of the company. This is the address. Your comma, and then the full stop. Larex is sleeping. So what is the next thing? What did we say we are going to have now after the address of the company we are writing to? Or after the person we are writing to? What is the next thing that comes? What will be the next thing? What are we going to have next? From the list of the things that should be the contents, the salutation. Thank you, Deborah. We are going to have the salutation. The title, no, not title yet, the salutation. Thank you, Kamarian. Is the salutation. Larex, where were you? So, salutation. The salutation is the dear this. Dear sir, dear madam, dear, alright? Dear this and dear that. I think I will have to wipe this off. Can I clean this now? Can I wipe this off? Can I wipe this off? Yes, Andy Brain. Yes, sir, Omar. Can I wipe this? Sure, okay. So I sent my address 3 times, but no one's. Okay, we did not see your address, so we did not see the address. Dear madam. Then a comma. So, dear madam, then a comma. Then the next thing that would follow, would be the title of the letter. Okay, the title of the letter. What the letter? Why do we have title for formal letter? Because in the office space there is no time. All right, so no one has time to come and just pick a letter and start reading. That's why we say the letter has to be concise. Concise means brief. Detailed, yes, but brief, not too long. Not all those stories. How is Emeka and how is Abdul and how is Omalara? No, what are they doing? How did they visit the zoo? Did they see the monkey? All those things. No, it has to be straight to the point. I think the M should be capital letter. Yes, thank you. Thank you. It should be capital letter. So, yes, why we have the title? Why we have the title? So that when this person you're writing to, the HR now, picks your letter, he or she looks at the letter, sees the title to know what this letter is about, sees the letter of application. Oh, okay, so and they want to treat this, or the person will know what to do with the letter. All right, the person doesn't have to go through all of this, okay, to know what the letter is about. But with your title, the person can know what the letter is about. So you're going to have the title now. Application for the post of manager. Okay, good. Application. Let's use that title. So application. For the post of a manager. Like I said, your title should be centralized. Application for the post of a manager. Now, after the title, what comes next? What is the next thing? Should there be paragraph after the dear sir? After the dear, no, immediately the next line, you're writing your title. The next line, you're writing your, when it is typed though, when it is typed, maybe you want to leave one line. Maybe you want to leave one line for purpose of clarity, right? Maybe you want to leave one line, come down, and then type this. So what is the next thing after the title? Application to work in a bank. Now, okay, those are different titles, okay? You can come up with your own title. Letter of application. Application seeking for employment. All right, so the body, yes, thank you, the body. The body of the letter, the body of the letter. I said, when you're writing a formal letter, you want to go straight, okay? No dilly-dally, no beating about the bush. So, application for the post of a manager. Dear madam, all right, you continue from there. Say, what's my name now? Austin Okoye, of the above address, my address is already written up. That's why I said of the above address, right? Right. In response, I write in response to an ad, or to your company's advert, to an advert. Okay, to your company's advert. Your company's advert in, where was the advert? Let's choose any daily. Say it was in the Daily Sun Daily, or what now? The Sun's Daily. Family, welcome. I'm writing this letter to, okay? Advert in the Sun Daily. What day? When did you see this advert? Or when was the advert? The company's advert in the Sun Daily. On what day? On Tuesday, 20th. What was Tuesday? I'm just going to pick any date. 20th June 2023. So I, Austin Okoye, of the above address, write in response to your company's advert in the Sun Daily on Tuesday, 20th June 2023, for the post of a business manager, of the manager. Okay, let's say manager, it depends on whatever you're writing. Of a manager. Of the manager. So this is like the introduction, all right? So I blah 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 blah. This is the introduction to your letter. Now, why would they take you? Daily Mail newspaper, okay? Alright. So why would they take you? You want to go into another paragraph, maybe you want to give them your credentials, okay? So why are you qualified? Why do you think you are qualified? I am a, alright, so you go into your second paragraph, and then you start writing your qualifications, okay? Then maybe when you're done with that, you go into the next paragraph, you want to write in your now, maybe your experiences, the experiences you've had so far. You've worked out in this, maybe you don't just come and tell them the experience you have with a job that is not even close to this manager. You are doing something that is not needed in this. The reason you are writing that experience is to tell them I've done this one, so I can do this one. Alright? So you're writing something that will tell them I've done something similar, and if I can do it, I can do it here. Okay? This if it's to write for bank owned, it's similar. Alright, Vikiela, it's similar. You're just going to, you know how to change your wordings, and you know you're going to introduce whatever, your own details, private details. The information you have with you is what you're going to insert. I'm just using this as an example, okay? You can just modify this and work on it. The same thing for the bank, your address, the date, the bank address, who you are. By the way, don't forget the title of the person you are writing to, the bank, then the bank address, probably to a particular branch, then the address of the branch, then the year, whoever. I don't know, the banks, do they write application for a particular branch, or just general, just the bank, and then they move you to any branch they want? I don't know about that one. Guys, okay, so then you have your year something, and then the title, the salutation, and then the title, then you have your introductory paragraph, okay? This is the body now, this is not the introductory paragraph. Now, the second paragraph, that's where you now tell them why do you think you are qualified? Why should they employ you? Why should they take you? What do you have? Bank is general, okay, thank you. So what do you have? Okay, you tell them I studied this, I have this knowledge, I acquired this skill, and blah blah blah. Then maybe you want to continue. Make sure it's not too long. I said nobody has time to be reading long letters, okay? Make sure it's not too long. 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, okay, alright, then you conclude. Thank you in anticipation of your favorable response, or thank you as I hope, whatever, that's your concluding paragraph, and then you now write your complimentary close. Yours faithfully, yours sincerely, yours faithfully, okay? Then your signature, right? Then you have your signature under it, and the next thing is what? Your name, your full name. Your full name under it. What if you have your CV? Okay, you want to include that in the letter. You want to include it in the body. Attached, maybe you say attached here in the envelope is our copies of my CV or credentials, okay, and whatever it is that they asked you to submit, okay, you want to include that in your cover letter, and then you submit that along with the other credentials and other things you're submitting. So now that is how to write a formal letter. So with this, I want to believe everybody here watching should be able to write a formal letter. Whether you go to a bank and they ask you to write a letter, maybe you want to, something happened to your account and they say write a letter, you should be able to write a letter down. You have learned this. The first thing you want, your letter, your address. Yes, so good, Alima, good. So your address, the date, the address of the person you're writing to. Maybe you're going to write to the manager, okay, branch manager or something. Address of the person you're writing to, then here the salutation, then the title, all right? Letter or request for whatever, I don't know what it is you're doing in the bank. Just compose your title. The title shouldn't be too long, all right? You just short something, all right? 1 sentence. If it's good enough for one, if it's going to go into 1 line, fine. Yes, I like English a lot, good, okay. So that's it, then the body of your letter. Banks don't even have time to start reading, something like that, they don't even have time to start reading long stuff. Just a short something, and then you're done. And then you write yours sincerely, the complimentary close, and then your sign, okay, and your full name. So that will bring us to the end of today's class. Letter writing, formal letter. So please, what's the difference between formal and semi-formal? We don't really use semi-formal today, crazy word. Semi-formal is not recognized. What we talk about today is formal and informal, okay? Semi-formal is someone, you're writing to someone that is, thank you, Deborah, for the mic. Thank you. Semi-formal, then, we'll talk about the semi-formal now. Semi-formal is a letter you write to someone you don't really know well, alright? So it's just like in between. I know you not too well. Formal is I don't know. Informal is very close, my buddy, very close, okay? And that's why we had semi-formal. But now, it's not even there. We talk about informal and formal, alright? So informal are people you are close to, your friends, your family, your loved ones, all that. And now, semi-formal is to an office, an official letter, to an office. Any letter that is going to an office is a formal letter, alright? So that's it. Thank you again, Deborah. Thank you for the perfume. Thank you very much. Thank you, I appreciate it. Alright, everybody, so that brings us to the end of today's class. We've had the correction for maths. I think we're done with, what's it called now? We're done with change of subject of formula. So in the next class, we'll be treating a new topic. What subjects should we do, maths or English in the next class? Maths or English? Can I raise up the poll now? Okay, if you want us to do maths in the next class, use the first emoji, the smiley emoji. And if you want us to do English in the next class, use the crying emoji. Maths, the smiling emoji. English, the crying emoji. Maths or English, the next class. Maths, the smiling emoji, and English, the crying emoji. Maths or English. You know, we have just 2 hours for each class, 8 to 10. Maths, the smiling emoji, and English, the crying emoji. So it's the people here today that will decide what we are having in the next class. So 13 people so far. What do you want us to do in the next class? If you want us to have maths, 1 is enough. So I see us just writing it all over to cover for those that are not writing. Okay, where is this thing? Okay, so we're going to be having maths, but if possible, we can also include English. So I think majority voted for maths. Majority voted for maths. So we're going to have maths, and then we're going to see if we can give little time also for English. All right, so thank you everybody for joining in tonight. Thank you.